Well, the summer season is upon us, and that means tons of arty activities to choose from. And here to help you put together your out and about summer schedule are three of the all-time greats. Starting down here, Senior Arts Editor of City Arts Magazine, Jonathan Zwickel. Hello, sir.
Hi there.
Right here, we've got arts and culture writer for Crosscut, Brangien Davis, and new to our table, arts writer for The Stranger, Katie Kurtz. It's great to have you here. All right, so the assignment was you got to come up with some really good stuff that our audience, our viewers, must do this summer. And I think you pulled the short straw, yes? So kick us off.
So, right, yeah, opening this month at SAM is a big exhibit called Double Exposure, which focuses on the work of Edward Curtis, who maybe you've heard of. Photographer from the early 20th century who was extremely prolific, specifically covering Native American culture. And he took portraits and shot photos of the day-to-day lives of natives all across the country. His photographs sort of influenced the general perception of Native American culture in the early 20th century. So Sam is pairing 100 or so of his photos with the work of some contemporary Native artists in sort of conversation. So you have Tracy Rector, who's a filmmaker from Seattle.
Local, right.
Yeah, who does great work in narrative and feature film and documentary and video work. And then a guy named Will Wilson, who's based out of Santa Fe, a photographer that works in this similar sort of like sepia tone and orotone photo that Edward Curtis shot in also. And then a visual artist from Victoria, BC, named Marianne Nicholson. And I think the idea is just to position the sort of modern context, natives in a modern context, with Edward Curtis's more sort of anachronistic sensibility of native life.
Right, kind of bringing it more into the contemporary times.
Yeah, and have that conversation. And I imagine it's just going to be a really striking, both beautiful and sort of educational exhibit there.
Nice, great.
Yeah.
All right, number two.
And then sort of on the opposite end of the spectrum, big outdoor summer music festival that happens outside of Portland, which is very near and dear to my heart. It's called Pic of In. And this year it's the 20th anniversary.
Have you gone every year?
I've gone the last 6 years.
Wow, cool.
Yeah. And to my mind, it's the best combination of sort of ambition in terms of like production and concept and intimacy, in that it's only 5,000 people out there, 2,000 of which are artists and volunteers and staff. And they basically just build a bunch of really funky stages in the middle of the woods outside of Portland and then throw some incredible bands in there. So, you know, you hear the name Pic of In and you imagine that it's going to be a bunch of jug
banjo
bands.
players.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Which it is, but it's also a lot of other stuff as well. Built to Spill is going to be there this year. Broken Social Scene also, and then a lot of great world music also, a band called Tenarawen that's from sub-Saharan Africa. Yeah, another guy named Hailu Murgia is sort of an Ethiopian jazz legend, actually. Yeah, so all of this stuff sort of mixed together in this really cool outdoor setting outside of Portland.
And you'll be there.
I'll be there,
you'll
for
be
sure.
there. Okay, with your banjo.
Right.
When you're picking. All right, Missy.
Okay, I've got two very different shows. One is a local artist, Katie Miller, and she's going to be at Mad Art Space, which, as you know, is the big open kind of lofty space in South Lake Union that's specifically for artists that are creating large-scale installations. So she's been in there since May, I believe, and she's got an architectural background. So she's building this sort of, she calls it an urban landscape inside the building. She uses some kind of very heavy and very large paper that she cuts out with X-Acto knives. These shapes and shadows that look like buildings, high-rises, bridges, trestles. And since they're cut out, the light that's coming in from the street.
So that's what creates it, is the shadow.
And the light and shadow, and it changes a lot because the way it moves through the space. So, and you can walk around inside of it. When she's finished in July, you'll be able to walk around. And I just love that it's also sort of this microcosm of what's happening outside of the space in South Lake Union.
time.
A calmer way to experience.
Right.
Okay, and on a different scale is Lauren Weedman at
the
Axe
funny,
Theater.
Funny Lauren Weedman.
And her new show is called Lauren Weedman Doesn't Live Here Anymore, which is true.
Yes.
She used to live here. Yeah.
That's accurate.
Yeah, and she was on Almost Live with Nancy Guppy and The Daily Show and many other shows. But she's known for her one-woman theater shows.
Yep.
This time she's bringing in a band, and I saw this as a work in progress progress last year.
I did too. And is she singing?
Yeah, so she's singing, she's written songs. The topic is betrayal and divorce, which sounds like kind of a drag, but of
Kind
course...
of pulling from her own life.
Pulling, yes, ripped
something
from the
about that.
headline. Yeah, something people can relate to, and of course she'll just make it completely
Fantastic.
hilarious and like you want to do it.
But this babysitter that I'm using now, Davy Blue, is beautiful. What's wrong with me? She's an actress. They're all, and but I like her. She's a yoga person. She's trustworthy. Yeah, so.
Oh, that's great.
that'll
Oh,
be
I'm
good.
looking forward to that
Yeah.
one. All righty, Miss Katie.
Yeah, so this is the 4th year of the Seattle Art Fair coming to CenturyLink Field, and this year will be curated by Nato Thompson from Philadelphia Contemporary, which is a mobile museum in Philadelphia that is non-acquisition based. Some of the themes they're looking at are identity, play, technology, all things that happen here in Seattle.
Yeah. So the 4th
There's
year.
that weekend,
Yeah,
4th
it'll
year.
be interesting to see
Yeah.
what happens. Yeah.
And then another anniversary, which is the 30th anniversary of Sub Pop.
Oh, that's a biggie.
And they're doing a big weekend-long Valentine to the Seattle community, thanking the Seattle community for its support over the 30 years, kind of an amazing milestone for those of us who remember the beginnings of Sub Pop.
Oh, yeah, tiny, you know?
Yeah. So that weekend kicks off with the Afghan Wigs at the Mural Amphitheater at Seattle Center. Then that night they are doing a comedy festival with the Bob's Burgers comedians, and it's also a fundraiser for Youth Care, which is a nonprofit for homeless youth in Seattle. And then the big day is at Alki Beach in West Seattle. The showcase of bands shows the range of what Sub Pop has signed over the years.
From the beginning till now. Right?
Yeah.
Really looking at the scope. Yeah.
So everything from local hip-hop duo Shabazz Palaces to Canadian punk band Mets. One of the bands I'm looking forward to is Loma, which is a new project of Shearwater. And then there's also this band Mudhoney that's playing.
Touch me, I'm sick.
Never heard of them.
Yeah, that's kind of a new thing, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's going to be a big blowout, is what it is.
It
And what a
is.
celebration.
And it's free. So that day is
Oh
free.
my God, that's fantastic.
So it will be
Wow.
absolutely nuts. There's also a family stage with Casper Baby Pants.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can have a Seattle event
Without Casper
Baby
there in some
Pants.
way. Yeah.
So that's,
Yeah.
that should be a pretty
That's gonna be a huge
packed,
one.
great day.
And you have one more quickie that I wanted you to mention, which is so hilarious, and you know about it too. So what is it?
So this has been on my Washington State bucket list forever,
Yeah.
which is the Grand Coulee Dam laser light show.
Uh-huh.
I think Jonathan
It's
has
really
actually
cool.
seen
Yeah.
it.
You've been there.
Yeah, I went last year. Yeah, it's totally worth the 4-hour drive.
Wow.
Just to see the dam, first of all, but
That's
then also
cool.
the
And then,
lasers
then
are
the
really
lasers.
impressive.
A dam and lasers. It does not
And they
get
have a
better.
sound system that's also like monumental
Oh my
to
God.
match the dam. Yeah, and the whole thing is really impressive.
Okay, so we have to plan a road trip.
Yes.
That's free as well.
Yeah,
Let's do it.
All right, well, those are excellent tips. Thank you so much. And so let's do a little toast to you and to a fabulous summer.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Nicely done, you
Stay
guys.
hydrated.
Stay hydrated. Exactly. That's great.